Good morning, good afternoon, good whatever time that you're in, because you're alive. Thank you so much for tuning in to a new episode of the Perspective Podcast, where we're here to change your perspective.
And elevate your mindset.
Y'all know what it is. So today, we're here to talk to you about 3 things that we can do, that you can do every day to be able to get the small wins, right? Because I think so many times we talk about, really planning from 0 to 100. So let's plan daily. Let's look at the daily things that we can do every day. That you could just touch on one of the 3 things a day that will be able to help you to be able to move forward and to elevate into a new space in your life. So I know you were talking about the topics.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, today's episode is titled 3 Daily Wins. So, but 1 mental, 2 physical, and 3 spiritual. So basically knocking out one of those a day, you'll see like growth out of nowhere if you just slowly pay attention to those little things, right? So let's start with mental. Things you can do daily mentally, I see that as learning. So you can read, listening to podcasts like this where
Tune in.
where change your perspective and you're able to like get a new frameworks for how you should look at life. Audibles. There's so many things you can do to like help you mentally, especially if you're in school now. So like maybe now you focus and you knock out an assignment or do a reading or wherever you're at in your life, like you can find those little mental things to help
And even if you're out of school, finding things to do to be able to be productive, finding new things to learn about. You know what I'm saying? Instead of watching that new Netflix special, you're watching a TED Talk.
Unless a Netflix doc, it's a documentary.
True. You know how much we love documentaries,
Yeah.
but just if you're not in school and you have other things that you're doing, just being able to find time a day to be able to learn something new. You know what I mean? I think so many times when we get older, we just kind of get into that mundane and that routine, and we stop learning. We stop being seekers of knowledge. So taking every day to kind of stimulate yourself mentally instead of just in other places of pleasure. You know what I mean? I know you probably have a hard day and a long day, but at the same time, being able to stimulate yourself mentally to be able to grow mentally in some capacity. So I mean, when you're in different situations, you can be able to carry an intellectual conversation, and you're not just talking about Desperate Housewives of Salt Lake City. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I mean? Being able to just have something in your repertoire to be able to pull out some type of, knowledge and information that you got from stimulating yourself at least once a day. You know what I mean? That's just
I think that's big, man. Doing the mental. So mental 1, 2 being physical. So for physical, you can do the workouts, daily. You get like 30 minutes in. And what I did for my workouts to make it easier, now I set up my home gym. So where it could be harder for you, but if you're maybe in a condo or you're in a certain spot, just you can have weights in your room or something. Make it easy to do. So you can do workout, yoga, eating healthy. There's so much things, but like just that physical win. Now you put in maybe 30 minutes a day, and then now you knock that out for the day.
Yeah, I think it doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be some crazy, put 3 hours a day. You got to get 3 hours a day. I think it's the small wins that you have and the small things that you do. Even if you can't have weights or whatever, you do little things and little stretches every day in early mornings. I think that was a good thing, especially like in the wintertime if you feel like you can't get to the gym early mornings. Before you get to work, you do a 20-25 minute stretch, where you're just getting your body active, getting your body to just move around. In the summertime, you go on walks. You know what I'm saying? You're doing something where you're saying at the end of the day, I want to be able to grow physically. You might have a weight goal or something that you want to accomplish. So you're working every day, at least once a day, to be able to get to that place. I think the best investment I have is my Apple Watch. It tells me what I'm doing and how much steps I'm getting in, or how much time I've spent working out, or how much time I've spent sitting down. So it tells me to get up. You know what I mean? You buy little things to be able to help you, to motivate you sometimes, but also to keep you accountable, to be able to really move forward and I mean, hey, do something daily to get up. You know what I'm saying? We sit down for so long watching movies, TV shows, working, playing games, whatever. Get outside or get your body moving because it's healthy. You know what I mean? Eat properly. It's not, not always you can do it, but when you can, why not feed your body the same way that you feed your mental? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And those kind of play into each other because like doing the physical, is also a mental thing. You know, putting yourself in that uncomfortable situation, that strengthens your mind and calluses your mind to be able to handle those things. So it's like, it's kind of two birds with one stone type of thing. So yeah, physical, third one, last one, and almost, I think the most important one, honestly, your spiritual, your soul element. So for spiritually, whether you're religious or not, you can be prayer, or you can do meditation, or just, I think, writing down your goals and what you see for yourself in the future is a spiritual endeavor. You're meditating or taking the time within yourself and then trying to project that onto how you can see yourself in the future. So it's like, I view that definitely a spiritual aspect. So yeah, just doing that, and if you knock that out once a day and give yourself that time of either reflection or just trying to be better, I think that's huge also.
I think again, you have to feed your soul the same way that you stimulate your mental, and you feed your physical body. Your soul is probably the most important entity. You know what I'm saying? It's the thing that, you know, when we pass on, our soul remains. You know what I mean? Not remains, but our soul is still the most important endeavor. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people that are strong physically, but mentally they're not there. And so you can see it reflected in their soul, in their spirit, in their aura. You know, it's so funny that I can come into a room and say nothing, but you can feel my aura. It's my soul that is speaking to you without me having to speak to you. So I think what's most important is, if you're not spiritual, if you're not religious, and you don't have like a religious background, then you can still do things daily to be able to feed what's inside of you. You know what I'm saying? Feed that person that's inside of you that is speaking without having to speak. You know what I mean? And like you said, it's little things. Sometimes it's just journaling and being able to be at oneness with yourself, right? Knowing yourself, really being able to know yourself and love yourself, you know, or just understanding yourself. You know what I mean? Being in a place of solitude for a moment to reflect on, okay, how was my yesterday? How was my today? How do I want my tomorrow to be? You know, to really just sit down and spend time. I think with social media and so many things that have as a distraction, taking time to say, let me just pause for a minute. Let me be in the moment, and let me take in what's the next step. You know what I mean? Or what is my soul telling me that I need to make my next step? You know what I mean? What position and what direction do I need to be in that will, you know, 10x my growth? But instead of looking outwards, okay, let me look at me. What do I like? What gets me excited? What gets me up in the morning to be able to move around? And you know what I mean? Really taking time to feed your soul, because it's so important. You know what I'm saying? So at least try to do or hit one of, you said, the three things that are so important, and you'll see how in 30, in 40, in 120 days, how much further you are, because you fed your mental, you stimulate your mental and your mentality and how you think and how you process things. You've put in the time to work on your physical body, right? And then on top of that, you've been able to feed your soul and be able to nurture your soul. You know what I mean? How many times do you have trauma as a kid? So when you, or trauma in general, life, right? When you feed your soul, you're healing that part of you. You know what I'm saying? So try to hit at least one of the three areas, you know what I mean, to be able to work, to be able to become better, right?
Yeah. If you hit at least one, you'll see the progress, guaranteed. And it'll feel overnight, because it'll be under the surface until it just pops out of nowhere. And you see that the work you were doing, it was worth it at the end of the day. So
you know, so please hit at least one of the three a day, you know. And it can be something that you have with yourself. It's a challenge that you have for yourself. You know, there's different things that you can do. There's something called the 75-day heart. You know what I mean? Where it's just you're spending time every day. You're journaling once a day. I think you're drinking like 1 liter of water. You're doing 2 exercises, one outside and one inside. You're doing things to feed yourself every day for 75 days straight, and you'll see how much further you become in life. You know, so please, I beg that you at least hit one of the 3 a day in one of the areas to be able to just better yourself, because that's what we're working towards, you know? So, I mean, thank you so much for tuning in to a new episode of the Perspective Podcast. We're just here to give you guys new game, a new perspective, and a new mindset. You know what I'm saying? Know that we love you. Know that we're proud of you. And know that we're praying for you. Now, let's go. Hey, check this, Mike.